Welcome back to Gold Standard Culture. I'm Chris.
I'm Dominic.
This is the Culture Cast. This is our NBA podcast here on Gold Standard Culture. Dominic's a part of In the Moment Hoops, also in YouTube. His link will be in the description, so if you want to check out his stuff, that'll be linked below. The playlist for this podcast will be linked below, updated regularly. So if you want to go check that out, cover all things basketball, go ahead and take a look. Moving on. Last but not least, we've got the All-Star starters, which were announced yesterday. For the West, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic. For the East, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid. Those are your All-Star starters 2024 in Indianapolis. I am 100% in agreement with 9 out of 10 of those selections. My only disagreement is Damian Lillard being a starter. I think that is absolutely ludicrous and absurd. And I'm going to go on kind of an old head rant here. Look, this is how I feel about All-Stars. I don't care about legacy. I don't care that you're LeBron James. If
Exactly.
Brandon Ingram's playing better than you, he should get the starting spot. I
100%.
don't. I'm even gonna sit here and say 2016 Kobe Bryant farewell tour should have been someone else. Like,
Oh,
I don't think, legacy should determine who's making the All-Star team, who's starting, all that stuff. A lot of Warriors fans in our group chat on Twitter, Steph's not starting. This is insane. No, it's not. Shai has 100% lapped him right now. That doesn't mean I'm taking Shai in a playoff series over Steph just
yeah.
yet. Potentially could down the line. But right now, Shai has earned the starting spot over Steph.
Yeah.
Luka clearly earned the starting spot over Steph. Forget records and everything, just individual play, right? Like, you're looking, those two are potential MVP candidates.
Yeah.
Steph, he's probably not even on the MVP ballot anymore, right? And rightfully so. So I just, if you deserve it, you should get it. I don't believe in the whole legacy thing, like, or the idea that, like, oh, it's the NBA, it's about, ratings and money. You don't want Shai and Luka starting because Steph's your main draw. It's like, I don't care about that, man. The NBA is a global game. People know who these guys are. Like,
Yeah.
no one's not watching the All-Star game because Steph's just coming off the bench. Like, if you are, you don't really care anyways. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know your thoughts, but if you have any on this, like how you feel about the starting selections or just all-star voting in general, let me know.
I've always been a bit questionable of all-star voting. I mean, fan voting obviously can be a bit interesting for sure. I mean, 100%. We've seen
Wiggins starting in 2022 got Pachulia getting like 700,000 votes.
he should have been I'll say this, Wiggins should have definitely been an all-star.
Yeah,
But
starting though.
probably
No.
not. Probably not.
No.
But you can thank Thailand for that. But
Yeah.
you got Pachulia, you got Caruso when he was like a second-year player.
Yeah,
Like
with the Lakers. Yeah.
had a bunch of different interesting votes with the fan vote for sure. And I'm so glad that player vote and coach vote exists because a lot of, I definitely agree with you that fan vote, or not fan vote, just the whole legacy thing. I'm not a fan of it sometimes. And I think if you expanded the roster and added them to it, that's fine. That's cool. I'm with you on that. That's fine. Like they did for Dirk Nowitzki and Dwayne Wade in 2019. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool. They weren't starting. They just came in. They played a little bit. That was it. They didn't deserve to start. I think they were both fully aware of that and it way past their prime at that point. It was 100%, I think, very cool of them to do that. But yeah, like 2016 with Kobe, wasn't a big fan of it because yes, he was not deserving of that start 100%. And I've seen the argument being made that Anthony Davis should have even made it over LeBron or Kevin Durant, which, to be honest with you, I don't really hate that. But I
I think
don't.
over LeBron. I think
Yeah.
he's
No,
been
Kevin Durant the
incredible.
last few
Yeah.
months. Yeah, he's been back to Kevin Durant, but
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, I don't think it's this big of a snub. I don't think it's as bad as the Eastern snub, but I do think you can look at it as a snub for sure because Anthony Davis has been the best player on the Lakers this year. Not saying that LeBron hasn't been phenomenal for his 21st year, 39-year-old, not saying anything bad about him whatsoever. He's having one of the best years you can have for someone easily the best year of anyone at that age of all time for sure. But definitely thinking that Anthony Davis probably should have been a starter right there. But aside from that, I can see the argument for Curry, obviously, like you're saying. It's not like he's not having a great season as well. He obviously is. He's still having a very solid season. Now, compared to other Curry seasons, probably not the same for sure.
He's
And
struggled for the last like month. He
yeah,
had a good first month, but
he had a strong first month, but
yeah,
he had a little bit of struggles for sure. But I definitely think that I don't really know how people look at All-Star voting. I don't know like if record affects any fan's point of view. I don't, it probably doesn't. They're just gonna
I don't
vote.
think it should. I think it's just
Yeah.
individual play.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
yeah.
And an individual play, then yeah, I think those two guards this year, I'm not saying past or the future, I'm just saying
Yeah.
here, those two guards deserve to start, I think.
Exactly, and that's what it should be.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like if Steph was averaging 32 a game on
Then
50,
maybe.
40,
Yeah,
90,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
then we could sit here and have a legit discussion. But
Yeah,
if
definitely.
anyone's gonna sit here and tell me that Steph Curry's been better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Luka Doncic, you're just lying. Like
Not
you're
this year.
flat out
Yeah.
lying. Because that's all we're talking about is essentially the first half of the season. Who has been better?
Yeah.
Who has been the best at their position? You know, it, can we say anyone's really been better than KD offensively at power forward? I can't. Again, if Anthony Davis was playing power forward instead of center, sure, now we're having a
Yeah.
discussion. But I think KD's been the best power forward. Has anybody been better than LeBron in the West at small forward? I don't really think so. Your next best is probably Brandon Ingram, and even then you're kind of or Jeremy Grant maybe or Paul
Yeah.
George, Kawhi, like.
Yeah.
But I still think LeBron's been better.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then there has not been a single guard in the West that's been better than Luka or Shea. There's just you. There's no argument for anyone else. De'Aaron Fox, no, he's been great, but he's
He's
not
been
been
great.
there.
I'm not
You
gonna
know,
say
Harden's had a nice little resurgence season. Has he been better than those two? No. It's just like we got to be honest about this stuff. That's all. Again, like, am I taking Luka in a series over Curry? No, not right now.
yeah,
Again, you want to talk 3 4 years? Sure. Now we're talking.
yeah.
But right now, I'm still taking Steph because Steph's got more experience. Steph's still in his prime. Regular season, it's different. You know, those two have earned it over him. Acting like he should be in over them, I think, is just ridiculous. And it's just robbing opportunity from younger players, in my opinion. And I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But the biggest snub, like you said, that's Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, even being an all-star starter, is just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Um, there are 3 guards at least in the East that you could say deserve that spot over Damian Lillard and make just an easy case.
Yeah.
And my pick is personally Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Granted, like Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Brunson are like 1A, 1B for me on who deserves it more.
Yeah.
But over the last few hours, maybe even a day, I've been kind of leaning a little more towards Maxey, where yesterday morning I was way more thinking it's Brunson. But
Yeah.
I think him or Maxey 100% deserve it over
Yeah.
Damian Lillard. And you could even make a case for what's his name for Trae Young. But
Yeah. Yeah.
like he's been
Yeah.
great over the last month.
Yes.
Um, Getting back to where he was supposed to be. So I think Dame, especially because this is one of his worst seasons offensively, if we're,
Yeah. So
and
far. Yeah.
obviously, there's some, well, he was playing with Giannis kind of thing, so he's going to get less touches, but Dame's still been, 1A, 1B focal point of that offense. It's
Yeah.
not like Damian Lillard's, James Harden fading into the background as, Kawhi and Paul George take over. No. Damian Lillard's still the one hitting game winner, still, averaging 20 something a game. But nah, I'm completely disagree with him being the starter. How do you feel about that?
I'm with you 100%, man. I'm like you said, Maxi, I'm probably a Brunson guy. I think that Brunson, what he's done for the Knicks so far is insane. He's topping off his last year, which was already a career
Yeah.
insanity for him, and he's on a tour again. And he's
Is
doing
he
it better.
still shooting like 50% from three?
He's phenomenal this year, man.
Yeah.
I think by far one of the most underrated players in the league, and he's like almost like to me, he's like in between star and superstar. Like
Yeah.
he's really good, man. He is a phenomenal player, and it's a little bit disrespectful to him, I think, to be honest. But I understand it's all-star voting. Everyone, there's a snub every year, no matter what. There's never going to be a year where all-star voting's perfect, and But yeah, like you're saying, for a starter is a bit crazy. Now, I'm not saying Damian Lillard should not be an all-star.
No, no, not at all. Yeah.
Starter, it is a little bit interesting to say the least, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, simply just being an all-star, I think it's lost its gravitas that it once had. I don't really think it really holds the same weight anymore, but I it's just like it's one of those things where I really don't know what you could do to change it because
Yeah.
some people have brought up it's like they had Wilt not winning the MVP, averaging like 50 something points a game. So it's like player votes aren't always the best thing either because they're a
Yeah.
little bit biased too. So I mean, Jesus, Thanasis got like 3 player votes to be an all-star.
Saw that.
It's just
I don't know what that means.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like,
But
sure, it's a meme, but still, it's like, the NASA's ain't on anyone's list for anything if we're, not even being real, just like obviously.
yeah.
But to me, I feel like maybe it should just be a threshold thing. Like, if you're averaging at least 25, 8, and 5, then you should be an all-star or something like that, or 20, like, or at your respective position, you have to
Yeah.
meet this criteria. Because it's like, yeah, I think you said it perfectly. It's like expand the rosters.
Yeah.
Not like just expand the rosters. Everybody plays like 5 minutes kind of thing. Just get everybody in there. Like I don't think we should be, gatekeeping so much all-star stuff because it is kind of getting stupid where it's like you got guys that don't deserve to be there, guys that don't deserve to get votes in the first place, guys that shouldn't be starting, shouldn't be. I think it's just a lot of people get screwed over in the all-star stuff because at the end of the day, we start talking about legacy with these guys. Yeah, we're going to be looking at, so and so got X amount of all stars, so and so got this amount.
Yeah.
And, should they have had more? Probably. Should they have had less? Probably. And so, definitely something that I hope the league kind of examines and, maybe tries to adjust down the line.
Definitely.
First
100%.
and foremost, though, bring back each team wearing their own team's jersey. I don't want to see East West. I don't want to see Team Giannis, Team LeBron. That's stupid. Give
Yeah.
me the old Warriors jersey with the All-Star patch. And now we're talking. And then I'll shut up about the rest. You can bring in whoever you want. You want the Nasus to start? Go ahead. Go ahead. But I just want to see those old Warriors unis with that All-Star patch.